You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
Johnny, who would you go with number 11? And then I'll go to Sterling.
So I'll caveat this with saying I'm going to assume, and I'll probably either get murdered by this in the chat and by the viewers, or I'll get agreed with. I'm going to assume that the background check on Mike Green becomes sterling silver bright. That it is
Sterling Bennett is his name.
That it is absolutely crystal clean. And so, because if I'm looking at this list based on talent alone, I think Mike Green is the pick there.
I mean, you saw him at the Senior Bowl. You saw what he could do.
It was unreal. It was unreal.
And that's what I'm saying is that by you seeing him, like it had a lasting impression on you.
Well, and it wasn't just the Senior Bowl. So, it was watching him destroy everybody at the Senior Bowl, and watching it live was very, I walked away and I had said it on my show, like, this is the guy. And then you hear about the off fields and I was like, okay, he's not the guy. And then I went and watched the tape and I was like, daggum, if it wasn't for these off fields, he'd be the guy. And then you hear that there's a lot of a strong case to be made that there is really nothing to these allegations. And so that's why I say the caveat is I'm going to assume that their background check has come back crystal clear. Now, if it doesn't, then it cannot be Mike Green. But for the purposes of this mock draft, because I haven't done this yet, where I've said, okay, I'm going to assume that it's perfectly clean, and I want to make it spicier. So I'm going to say it's going to be Mike Green. Because watching Jalen Walker, which I did over the last couple days, watching Kelvin Banks Jr., watching Walter Nolan, watching Shamar Stewart, all of these guys, and watching I'm blanking Harmon, I go, Mike Green's the guy. Talent-wise, it's him. Okay,
Sterling, number 11. Who do you go with?
I think it's really hard to disagree with everything Johnny said. You look at what Mike Green has done, whether the allegations are true or not. If they are true, obviously it's a big red flag. You say no. I think Shanahan and John Lynch have done such a great job in kind of weeding out bad characters, guys that were either on the roster in 2017 or throughout the draft saying like, nope, I'm not going to deal with it, not going to put up with it. And so knowing they've talked to him, I think at least twice at this point, and even Mike Green himself has been pretty open about the process, saying that I was never questioned by the police. I just left the college and nothing kind of came about it. And if that's all this is, then okay, Mike Green to me is head and shoulders above Shamar Stewart, Kelvin Banks, Derek Harmon. And maybe Johnny will agree with me here that I view the edge rushing class similar to how the cornerback class stacks out, where there's a couple of top dogs, your Will Johnsons, obviously your Travis Hunter at the cornerback room, albeit Johnson has injury concerns. But after that, there's a lot of question marks, more scheme fits, guys you like but have like serious flaws. Whereas the edge rushing class, it's Abdul Carter, then it's Mike Green, then it's a bunch of guys you just don't know about when it comes to actual on-the-field play. You can maybe dive into, well, Mike Green played at Marshall and the competition maybe wasn't the SEC. But Mike Green, to me, if he's there, you get athletic freak next to Nick Bosa or across from him. You can find your defensive tackle on day two, whether it is Jamari Caldwell, Lott from Tennessee, Alfred Collins on day two. Like, I think the edge rushing class to me has a steadier fall off compared to the defensive interior class. So I'd go Mike Green. I don't love Jalen Walker a lot. I'm not sure if he's an edge rusher. Is he an off-ball linebacker? Georgia kind of utilized him in a weird way. I don't love James Pierce Jr. Jr., he also has some character concerns. There may be he doesn't love football conversation happening in Tennessee, which is a massive no at number 11. And I think if you can clear the background for Mike Green, he's a top 10 talent, and you just don't say no to those kind of players at 11 when they're still on the board for you.
Like I said, my only concern is the whole Reuben Foster effect. Like what if we get him and all of a sudden he has more off-field issues, or that other ones come back to bite him, and then all of a sudden we're out our number 11 pick, and that's where my only concern is. I mean, physically and talent-wise, I think the guy's incredible. Johnny, you were saying?
Yeah, well, and for people who say, oh yeah, he just played at Marshall, I will say, go watch the Ohio State game. Now, granted, Ohio State scored a ton of points on Marshall. That was also because once a guy got through the defensive line, he was gone. They had so many explosives. But when you watch Mike Green against Ohio State, he looked exactly like he did against everybody else. There was no drop-off that suddenly he was playing the national champs and he didn't look like Mike Green anymore. He still looked just like Mike Green. When he goes to the Senior Bowl, he still looks the same. And just go watch what he did to Josh Connerly, who is probably going to be a late first-round tackle in this class. He made him look like a seventh-rounder or undrafted guy. There's a reason Mike Green left after 2 days at the Senior Bowl, because his performance was that strong. Same with Shamar Stewart, though, at the Senior Bowl. But with Mike Green, you then have all that tape and talent that is shown there. And look, when it comes to why did he leave Virginia Tech, because, again, I can see his side of it of, look, they suspended him off of a hearsay allegation, an anonymous, I heard this happened, that he was never questioned by, and he was suspended. Which meant that he was also going to lose some money because he had a zero tolerance policy with them. So he was like, I'm out. I'm not going to get punished for something that I didn't do. If you're assuming it comes back clean.
Right.
Now there could be something to that. There could be something more there. But if I'm the 49ers and I'm saying, look, I can't make somebody else pay for Reuben Foster's sins. That I think that's where you have to be at in this class. So for me, it's Mike Green. I think the talent is when people will talk about Jalen Walker as possibly the next Micah Parsons, you go maybe, but Mike Green is Von Miller 2.0. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And so that's why I have him above everybody else. And Sterling, to your point too, I think it was absolutely nailed it that this draft class only has a couple guys that are surefire home run hits. And that is, as far as talent-wise on the edge, that's Abdul Carter and Mike Green. After that, you have a lot of strong doubles that could turn into triples, but you don't know.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.